Section 12. The soul triumphant. If it is rational to behave as if the afterlife exists, the next question is whether entering the best afterlife outcome is more meaningful than overcoming entropy. This is important to answer, as if we want to maximize the potential for meaning in our lives, the most meaningful goal available to us should be our principal goal. Suppose we could decide to instantly achieve victory against entropy or ensure we get the best afterlife outcome. Which should we pick? I believe there are three main reasons why the afterlife should take primacy. From a purely analytical view, it is worth considering that there is an asymmetry between the possible expected values of afterlife outcomes when compared to the expected value of success or failure in defeating entropy. If we consider that the afterlife can either be infinitely desirable or infinitely undesirable, this contrasts with success in defeating entropy, which is also infinitely desirable, and failure to defeat entropy, which would be a functionally neutral result. While both goals potentially offer infinitely desirable outcomes, the afterlife involves higher stakes than failure to defeat entropy, as there is potential for infinite downside. This discrepancy technically suggests the afterlife should be more relevant in our decision-making, and thus of paramount importance. Within a metaphysical perspective, if we overcame entropy and sustained the universe indefinitely, it would undoubtedly be a tremendous achievement. However, it might also be a mistake if it costs us the chance at a qualitatively different existence, as some belief systems suggest. To reuse the simulated bridge analogy, our existence may be just like a simulated bridge in a computer waiting to be built in real life pending results. Prolonging a finite simulation indefinitely is meaningful, so long as the simulation is allowed to continue. If the simulation is turned off, then all the possible meaning within the simulation disappears. On the other hand, if something is passed from the simulation into reality, that constitutes a more meaningful change in state, possibly the most meaningful change in state imaginable. There is also the somewhat selfish reason that there is no guarantee we will be able to personally enjoy a victory against entropy, even if it succeeds. There are a variety of scenarios where the fruits of such a victory may only be available to future humans or post-humans, fruits never to be known by us. Of course, our contribution, if we choose to contribute, was meaningful in that it made the future victory possible, but would be arguably better if we had the chance to experience eternal triumph too. On the other hand, if we already accept it is logical to behave as if the afterlife exists, then entering the best afterlife outcome is arguably a more imminent concern to us, considering you and I will inevitably die. Only the last generation before the defeat of entropy can reasonably dismiss death, which I suspect is a long ways away. This line of thinking is personally my least favorite, but I include it as it might resonate with some. Acceptance of any one of the reasons mentioned is all that is needed to place entry into the best afterlife as our primary goal. If one does not accept any of these reasons for the afterlife's primacy, the prospect of the afterlife should weigh heavily on one's mind, even if it is only viewed with secondary importance towards our goal of maximizing the meaning in our lives. If this conclusion is sour, I'd like to point out that even if we place the afterlife as our principal goal, it doesn't necessarily mean we can't also pursue the defeat of entropy. The only concession is that the conquest of entropy is of secondary importance to whenever there is overlap, which is not often. Ironically, by putting the afterlife first, it may be possible to strive for both.